Did you know that in ancient times people believed that every time a man masturbated, he lost 10 years of his life? Crazy, right? But here's the wild part. Some people today still think that doing it too much can drain your energy, damage your brain, or even cause hair loss. Let's clear something up. Masturbation does not take 10 years off your life. Science has never said that, but people are still unsure about how often is too often. Is once a day fine? Twice a week? Or are there health risks you are not aware of? The truth is, a lot of what you hear out there is either outdated or just wrong. And even though it's a normal thing, most people do not talk openly about it. So in this video, we are going to walk through what real science says about how often you should masturbate. We will look at the benefits, the possible problems, and how to know if your habit is actually healthy. Let's start by understanding why people even do it in the first place, because that will help us see the full picture. Masturbation is something many people experience at some point in life. It's a private habit, but it's incredibly common. Most people do it for one simple reason: it feels good. But there is more to it than just pleasure. Some people use it as a way to relax after a stressful day. Others find it helps them fall asleep when their mind is racing. Some people use it to explore their own body and better understand what they like. In relationships, it can even be part of a healthy sex life. For teenagers and young adults, it is often part of growing up and learning about their body. For adults, it can be a way to release tension or even cope with boredom or loneliness. But the reasons are not the same for everyone. That is why it is so tricky to set one rule for how often it should be done. To figure out what is healthy and what is not, we need to look at what science actually says about how often people do it and what that does to the body. So let's break down what research tells us. So how often is too much or not enough? To answer that, let's look at what science has found over the years. Many studies have been done around masturbation, though not all of them are widely known or discussed. One of the most talked about studies comes from researchers at Harvard University. In that study, they looked at a large group of men and tracked their ejaculation frequency over time. What they discovered was surprising. Men who ejaculated about 21 times per month had a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. That comes out to roughly 5 times per week. Now, this does not mean that 5 times a week is the magic number for everyone. And it definitely does not mean that if you do it less, you are at risk, or if you do it more, you are superhuman. What it does suggest is that regular ejaculation may help the prostate stay healthy, possibly by clearing out old fluids or reducing inflammation. But not all studies look at cancer risk. Others focus on mental and emotional health. Some researchers have found that regular masturbation can help reduce stress and anxiety. That is because it causes the brain to release chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, the same chemicals your brain produces when you laugh, hug someone, or feel proud of something. These chemicals help you feel good and calm. After orgasm, many people report feeling relaxed, even sleepy. That is why some people say it helps them fall asleep faster or sleep more deeply. There are also pain relief effects. In women, for example, some studies suggest that masturbation can help relieve menstrual cramps. And for both men and women, the release of endorphins during orgasm may ease headaches, muscle tension, and other types of minor pain. But let's not skip over an important point. More is not always better. Just because something has benefits does not mean unlimited amounts will give you unlimited gains. In fact, if you masturbate too often, you may notice the opposite effect. Some people feel tired, foggy, or unmotivated when it becomes a habit they cannot control. Others find it hard to focus or connect with real people if they are constantly turning to solo pleasure. So while studies can tell us what is common or what has worked for many people, they cannot tell you what is right for your life. That is why it is important to look beyond the numbers and start paying attention to the way masturbation makes you feel, both physically and emotionally. And before we jump into the warning signs of overdoing it, let's take a moment to explore something a lot of people miss: the surprising benefits masturbation can offer when it is part of a balanced lifestyle. Most people do not connect something so private with real health benefits, but they are there. When you masturbate, your body goes through a few changes. your heart rate rises, your muscles relax afterward, and your brain releases chemicals that make you feel at ease. These changes can help lower anxiety and even reduce pain for a short time. Some women report that it helps relieve menstrual cramps. Some men say it helps with sleep or managing tension. It also helps some people focus better afterward because it calms mental chatter. For people who are not sexually active, masturbation can be a safe outlet. It carries no risk of pregnancy or sexually transmitted infections when done alone. And in men, regular ejaculation may help flush out the prostate and keep things running smoothly. So yes, there are benefits, but even healthy things can go off balance when they become habits we stop noticing. So how do you know if masturbation is actually becoming a problem? Let's look at the warning signs. It becomes a problem when it starts to control you instead of you controlling it. Some people notice they are doing it so often that it gets in the way of real life. They skip work, avoid people, or lose interest in actual relationships. For others, it might be emotional. They feel shame or guilt every time they do it, but still cannot stop. Or they start using it to escape hard feelings, like sadness, boredom, or even anger. You might also notice physical changes, like soreness, fatigue, or lack of focus. Your sleep may get worse instead of better if you rely on it too much. There is nothing wrong with taking care of your body, but it should not become something that hurts your body or your mental health in the long run. So how do you strike a balance between healthy and harmful? That brings us to what a normal, healthy pattern might actually look like. A healthy masturbation habit is one that fits into your life, not one that takes it over. Here are some signs it is healthy. You can go without it when needed. You do not feel ashamed or out of control. It does not stop you from enjoying time with others. You feel good afterward, calm, relaxed, and clear. Some people masturbate once a week. Others might do it more often. There is no magic number. What works for your body and life is what matters. But here is the key. You are in control. It is not a compulsion or a reflex. It is a choice. You are not using it to run away from life, but simply to take care of yourself in a safe and natural way. And here is something interesting. Some people feel better when they stop for a while. Why? Let's find out. Some people take what they call a reset. That means they stop masturbating for a few days, a week, or even longer. They do this to see how it affects their body, their energy, and even their mood. And many report that during that time, they feel sharper, more focused, and more motivated. Their energy goes up. Their interest in real connection increases, and their mind feels less cloudy. Taking a break does not mean masturbation is bad, but just like stepping away from your phone or social media, it can help you reset your habits. It is not about quitting forever. It is about checking in with your body and seeing how you really feel without it. Which brings us to the final question. How many times should you really do it? There is no universal number. That is the honest answer. Some people feel fine doing it once a week, others feel fine doing it every other day. The key is not how many times, but how it makes you feel and how it affects your life. If you feel healthy, clear-minded, and in control, you are probably in a good spot. If it is helping your mood, your sleep, and your focus without causing stress, guilt, or physical problems, it is likely not something to worry about. But if you feel drained, ashamed, distracted, or out of control, that is a sign to slow down and take a closer look at the pattern. Your body will often tell you when something feels off. Learn to listen to it. And while science gives us helpful clues, there is one thing it still cannot fully explain. There is one secret about sexual health that even researchers are still debating, and it could be silently draining your energy without you even realizing it. In our next video, we will break that down and show you how to take back control of your body in a whole new way. You will not want to miss it. If this video has helped you, then I will encourage you to hit that like button and share it with someone who could use it too. And of course, subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.